Welcome to another review by me, Kozan. Today we're watching a Grandmaster Zenyatta on Horizon Lunar Colony. The greatest place to be on the moon. Here we go. Today we got a team consisting out of a Tracer, Widow, Mercy, Winston and Zaya. So obviously probably just keep the orb on the Widow for a little bit, and then as you're moving closer with your team and the Tracer gets more in a flanking position, potentially, depending on where she goes in, put it on her. Yeah, we'll just see, but probably start it out with the Widow because she's gonna start poking probably the quickest and open up the fight that way probably.
Yeah, that last game I'm so triggered, I won't play fucking healer anymore.
We'll see.
Yeah, I understand. No
well, so the Widow's a little bit slow, the Tracer, yeah, it's fine. Put it on the Tracer, she's probably first now. There we go.
What a joke.
Already had to use her recall. Fantastic. Okay. So yeah, you put it on Tracer, keep it on Tracer. Mercy going a little bit bonkers there as well. Regrouping, probably the best idea. Gonna skip through this a little bit. Over here, I just want to point out, you're reloading again. At some points where you didn't really have to, you can get some more value just by right-clicking here a little bit more, right? Because that's 10 bullets still left, and here you do it with 15, I believe. So yeah, you could get like two more right-clicks into that fight, maybe.
Hog here, hog right side, hog right side.
Nice calling out, nice orbing there as well on Mercy, very good.
No heals.
Very good. I might lower this volume a little bit more, even so.
Let's push on him.
Hog is low, hog is low.
Okay, so you're pushing. Unfortunately, the Mercy didn't get to the Widow in time to save her.
Yeah, let's push on point.
Okay, pushing on to point. Over here, I feel like you make a little bit of a mistake. It's a small one, but here we go. Or at least it seems really small, but then again, it does get you killed this time, so... Okay. Fixing up all of this, have my screen so I can actually paint. This painting window needs to be center again, there we go, okay. Right. I want to talk about the positioning over here. I feel like there's a couple of places you could have gone after this when chasing this Roadhog. Oh. You could my windows are gone again, okay. Here it is, paint. Yeah, you could have probably posted up around this corner and kind of stay on the high ground, poke out for the right clicks and just shoot them onto the point from over there. That would be a really safe option to do, you know, you would keep your distance. And I don't believe there's many flankers right now to really punish that. Otherwise, what you could have done is over here, you jump down on the point, which kind of makes you land into this vicinity. And, well, I think you know what I'm going to say. I want you to land into this vicinity, right? Stay behind that. And, yeah, this time you kind of got stranded over here, and you get punished for it. You didn't know what was exactly there, and then, yeah.
But like...
Okay.
I get this in.
Soldier. Found that.
Small tiny thing that might get you some more picks next time.
Go. Yeah, it's like without a...
Corners, okay, here we go. 3. This is the wrong notepad I'm looking at right now. This is the other Zenyatta. Let me just close that. Here we go. Okay, this is you. 3. Yeah, okay. Over here, probably if you gotten this on headshots, that Hawk would have died and you wouldn't have had to go on this flank necessarily. I don't mind you going on this flank though. I actually kind of like it, honestly. But what I would like you to do, you saw the Mercy fly into here afterwards. The soldier, of course, still on point. So right now, what I would like you to do is, or at least what I think would be the most optimal choice here, is to go for a deeper flank, and that's through this building over here. You go inside, you just use the doorway that's over here, of course, somewhere, and yeah, there's even this other thingamajig you can use over there for cover. There's a lot of cover there and little tiny corners you can abuse, and just start poking down the healers that are over there that way. Now you kind of get stranded here, but for the situation you're in, let me see actually, did you shoot all your orbs? You didn't. Okay, so that's, well,
Zen.
did you? Ah, okay, yeah, well, I guess you could have used the final one for a right click, but that's another small thing, right? But then, as you are going for this, I don't mind you going for the soldier here. If you had gotten those in the face, maybe you could have saved it up a little bit longer, right? You could have charged up a little bit longer. And then if you gotten 3 orbs, you would have had an okay chance to killing him if those were in the face. Right, actually, you would have killed him then, of course. Maybe 2 would have even killed him because the monkey's also on top of him. And then you would have been the hero of this attack. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out. But yeah, it's well worth effort. You could have waited a little bit longer on that right click. That's all.
Back here, guys.
The mercy.
And then even if you still die, right, as long as you get enough damage on him anyway, then that fight still is very favorable for you. And even without it, right now you guys win it, so that's perfect.
600 kills.
You already did enough.
Okay, I'm ready to jump in. We have trends. They have Widow.
Okay, so the orb on the monkey over here. Mercy is jumping the monkey right now, so I would like you to throw it on top of here on the diva.
Hug low.
Unfortunately, you can't anymore, but you do have the transcendence, so you're staying close to them.
On the right.
I had this wrong the last time because I missed it for a moment. Yeah, you go in here. Unfortunately, let me see that again. The Mercy dies to a body shot, actually.
Monkey half on the
Where does Mercy die? Oh, she's on top of the truck? Really? So, okay, so when does she die? Right there. Okay. Yeah, that's just unfortunate, really. That's just a combination of that monkey shield being there, so the Mercy can't be healed, and the Widow still having line of sight, and your Mercy not jumping behind the truck, but on top of the truck. So that's,
Widow. Just do your stuff.
you know,
Pushing the Widow.
bad luck. All right, over here, as you're transing out, you kind of go in the middle of the point. I wouldn't recommend it. I would have recommended going behind the truck again, right? Just hugging the wall, minimizing the area they can jump you from, or following in with your diva right there into this little chokehold would be pretty good too, right? A good place for you to hide and charge up right clicks, or just if it really turns into your favor, you can just pop out and start left clicking everyone.
Back down. We're all.
Fuck, I hate this second point. That's so stupid. They
That's-
are literally walking into their spawn and not taking damage.
Yeah, that's some wisdom we're gonna use later on, actually.
Smart, right, Blizzard?
We're gonna talk about that as well. Over here, I like this, by the way. Was it already? Let me look. Treating with old, but yes, that's what we talked about. Camera management is coming up right here, and it's basically right now for the Widow. Keeping tabs on this Widow over here. I believe that's the Widow. I think it is. Yeah, that's the Widow. Anyway, yeah, keeping tabs on that Widow. We know that it's somewhere on that side.
Jump on this.
Going for the right click here on the Winston is perfectly valid. I don't mind it. And then afterwards discarding him, so you don't give it away, of course. That's just smart. Anyway, when you're charging right clicks like this, and you're kind of in a position where there's multiple ways for your enemy to attack, I want you to keep in mind which those areas are. Which are the areas most likely an enemy is going to pop up right now. So the area most likely for you right now really is your right side, right? Anything can really pop up on the right side. If you didn't have the Widow ult, maybe somebody is up on that way. Let me actually go back a little bit so we might have a look on it. I don't think you put the camera there
Jump on this end.
anymore after this. Or at all, actually. Yeah, but alright, that corner over there, right? You know what I'm saying. They can come up from there. Somebody can be over here, and Widow is, as we can see right now.
From the left side.
Of course we do have the Widow ult, so we know that isn't happening, but yeah, just as you're charging up this right click, try to keep tabs on the Widow and stuff like that on your right, or at least your flanks. You know, the flanks that are
Widow back
most
right,
likely
guys. Widow back right.
for enemies to appear from.
Go left side. kill the Zen and win the game.
Zen's back.
Because unfortunately, like, I just wanna reiterate one more time.
Mercy?
Right, this Mercy, it's a really difficult pick, right? And that Widow from behind the wall, that's gonna be a really easy pick for you. You can see her, and yeah, well, you know how it is. It's an easier pick. Oh, that's all I have to say against you, really. I feel like,
Oh, there's a widow.
right?
Guys.
The Widow just coming around the corner is easier than the Mercy flying around in
Go
the air.
left side, kill the Zen and win the game.
Zen's back left.
So that's more potential for you to get value out of that fight. If you check those flanks while charging up those right clicks. Not going for any right clicks here, I like it as well. Really respecting that Widow.
Widow on the high ground actually.
I'm not as disciplined myself. Over here I would like you to open the Widow actually, or the Mercy maybe. Any squishy that might be getting in a tug of war with the Widow initially.
Flank all the way
Then
left.
going for the orbing on the tanks, that's fine.
Flanking.
How far in are we? We're 11 minutes in. Okay, we're doing better on time. A lot better on time.
Tracer behind.
I tried once before, as you might have known. Okay, so over here, I really like how far back you are initially. Huh. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if you stayed back here a little bit longer. Just let Mercy get up and close with them. But yeah, it's just very likely that the Winston and the Diva will dive these two anyway, and that you're gonna get easy time shooting them anyway. But unfortunately, this Diva ults, and then yeah, there's just no way for you to respond anymore to anything like this, right? Because you're already right in the middle of the battle, right, where it's all gonna unfold. So yeah, definitely try to give your tanks a little bit more time over here before you get up in their grill and start clearing out those areas for them. Just support them a little bit more before you jump in with them. And then maybe you can dodge the Diva. Maybe? Who knows?
Level 3.
Winston's diving. Winston.
Tracer behind you.
Oh, right. I missed it this time as well. Okay, there's a small moment where you can hear this Tracer here. There she is. You know, if you're looking for it, it's really loud and obvious, but it was there. And this right click, if you had turned around at the moment you hear it, maybe, well, you do have a good shot. So you know, you have a good shot of just getting that full right click, at least into her direction. Maybe you'll clip her a little bit, maybe you'll kill her outright, but at least it's gonna force her back, slow down, maybe use one more blink, maybe even recall. But yeah, now she's just behind you. She's forcing your Mercy to res. Your Mercy doesn't respond to you, or at least doesn't tell you guys that there's a Tracer in the back. And then you hear her again. You hear the Wii, and you still go forward again. And then I feel like, okay, over here, your Mercy's using ult. Well, it happens really quick. You die again really quickly, but I try to be more aware of how many ults do my enemies have that I need to counter with my ult. And in this case, there's really none. There's no real good ults they have that you can counter with your ult. So I would be very liberal with it. And just because your Mercy now has her ult, I would just try to make sure that you guys don't lose any more members right now. And as soon as you start taking this heavy amount of damage, just immediately use that ult, just so you don't lose the momentum. And well, you still have 3 minutes, so you know you have time to get more ultimates.
I don't think Orisa's gonna work, man. If they just dive through us.
Winston is shit. we are dying to random stuff.
Then let's get Ryan.
Ryan is even worse, trust me. On this map, it's pretty bad. Widow's 1 HP main.
Yeah, your tank really wasn't a great Winston either.
Hogorisa is crucial.
Tracer's bomb there.
Almost got shot there.
Widow.
Hey,
So I like how far back you are, right? You have vision of all the doors, so it's really difficult for the Tracer
Zen's
to
just
really
sitting
get in your
back
back and flank
left.
at all. Because really, by you being here, right, it's impossible for the Tracer to do anything flanking wise. So she's just gonna be a bad soldier basically with recall. Yeah, it's just too far of a distance for her to blink through to get to you, and you still get good right clickage. You can kind of shoot the backline from here. Then you go upwards.
Zen's just
That's
sitting
okay
back
too.
Doing whatever he wants.
You can follow up here. And then
Mercy,
getting that
Mercy.
right click on that Mercy, that's massive as well.
Point.
That initial damage that just allows your team to clean it up so easily. This pulse bomb unfortunately kills your Mercy as well in kind of a backsided way, because your Mercy jumps off to avoid it and then tries to jump back on as quickly as possible and doesn't notice the Diva bomb is there up as well. So dies to that,
Like,
which
how-
kind of ends this push unfortunately without really much happening before then, which is really sad because you guys get the guys get the Mercy, the Widow. Well, I guess it's still equal now, but because they still have the spawn advantage, you're not gonna win this fight ultimately. At least not. Maybe some of them, but you know, out of 100, you're not gonna win this fight a lot, right? That's kind of the thing, and we want to optimize our wins. So right now already, it's not a fight
Diva first.
you really want to go for anymore,
Nice. Where's Zen? Discord Zen.
just
Tracer.
because of their spawn advantage.
Mini Diva. Nice. No, because there's a fucking Valk and then there's...
No, but they do use the Valk, so that's good actually. Like it was already shut down, and then afterwards they still use the Valk.
They have
Maybe they're just a little bit. Well, I suppose it was still kind of equalish, but nah, their Mercy was back, so I don't know. That was kind of a wasted Valk.
okay. Now when we have Hog, we can go left side, kill the tank.
If that even was a Valk, I don't know. I think it
They don't
was.
have Diva.
Maybe
bomb.
I'm hallucinating.
We don't have.
It's been a long
Why
day.
don't we have Hog?
All right, so going for this Widow, poking for it. That's all right. Just making her life difficult.
Probably better than a permanent.
Pooh. Maybe
Hey,
It's probably better than a permanent soldier.
very courageous with this Tracer. That's for
That's
sure.
right.
All right. There's one more thing over here. There's one more thing I want you to notice. Your hero setup, right? The only hero right now that's a diving hero is the Diva. And your Diva is definitely gonna dive in because it's a Tracer player.
don't have Diva bomb to kill you. Just
As we see over here. Diva or the Tracer, what's Tracer? Alright. So
We don't know
We
how.
don't have.
yeah, try to definitely pre-orb the Diva in this location.
With me, guys.
The soldier would be a good choice here as well, but as soon as this, well,
Probably better than a
she does it really quickly. Like it's not the greatest Diva move there, but if you did manage to get her orb on her pre-fight before she really dove in again,
permanent soldier.
this would have been a lot easier and a lot more overseeable for you if the orb was already on the Diva. Because right now you see the critical and you lose focus on this Tracer, which is gonna hurt you later on. Just to get this orb on the Diva in this kind of panicky moment. Your Orisa also goes left here for some reason without the team, while the rest of the team goes right. So another kind of a weird
So-
thing.
Let's go.
Anyway, what I want to point out, right? You just had a really good right click, which could have hit this Tracer very easily, but you didn't go for it anymore because you did go for the healing orb. Also, you lose track of her now and don't notice that she blinks to the right. And as soon as you notice she's blinking to the right, it's very valuable for you to kind of stay backwards, right? To stay on that corner where you have that longer range on her before she blinks towards you. If you were on, let's go back a little bit so we can paint on it, right? If you were still on this corner over here, you could have very easily just kind of poked to the right and make it really difficult for that Tracer to come towards you. you could have reacted to that blink movement and immediately competed for that flank again. Yeah, or you could have been a bit more here, and then she would have, you know, it would have been like this instead of like her pushing up to here and you being over there somewhere. Maybe that would have been even better if you were over there, so you would have been closer to your team. Mercy is still more jumpable for you, but it's okay. Going into here though a little bit more, I would have liked you to stay anyway. Whatever happens, even if there is no flanker at all behind you, I would like you to stay a little bit more towards these doors. Actually, if there is a flanker, I obviously want you to go a little bit even further back to kind of deal with that, or at least have the longer range before it actually happens. Try to find that as much as possible. Anyway, afterwards, try to get to these doors and don't go very much further past those doors.
So, okay.
Or you could go left, of course, with the Orisa in this case as well, and then be with the shield.
Close to Valk.
Instead, yeah, just don't push beyond this point, really, is what I'm trying to say.
Just go Winston. Nice. Diva's on me at the back. Tracer on me at the back. Tracer no recall behind.
Group up. Kill them.
Very good shot. Okay, so you guys clean it up here. And I do believe you take it now. Because this monkey is just too lazy to stay on the point.
Heals.
Okay. So that's a good round one. Continuing on, let's try to get some skip into our step. It's again a really long one, dude. I'm not making good on time. Okay. So going in here, let me just go quickly over the thingamajigs. Okay, no. Start the defense. So I do believe you have the Torb and Widow right now. Your Widow gets picked off early. I don't think you could have done a lot about that. You're on the right side. Maybe at the start of the round, right, you could stay a little bit more behind his shield up until you know for sure that there's no Widow for you to be punished by for going on that right side as a starting point. They do have the Widow, so I guess you kind of still can, as long as you keep as long as you keep in mind where she is, or at least as long as you can keep tabs on where she is, so that you don't accidentally expose yourself.
Where's the Widow?
Going over here, by the way, you noticed the Tracer. I believe you even call it out before you go over there. Tracer left, right, and then you see her go on the right with the Discord. As soon as you see her going right here... Oh, wow, I have these two still here. Okay, so I want you to back up. I want you to back up to the other door. And again, right, you're going to be further back. That Tracer's going to have to use small blinks to get on top of you. And have to use small blinks to blink behind you, which is what a Tracer wants, right? They want to blink behind you and make you turn around all goddamn day. If there's more distance between you, she needs to use more blinks to get towards you. And she's going to have less blinks to do that type of stuff.
Zarya 1 HP main. I have no shield.
So if you were already back at that other corner waiting for her, it's you know, you still would have a good shot at just getting this right click in her face as soon as she turns the corner. Also, you would have just been a little bit more safe. Another thing, if you would have been a little bit further back, is that your camera would have revealed that there's a Widow above you right now. Or at least if there is a Widow right above you right now. Which you see right...
Where's the Widow?
Oh, actually, well, you still see it, but yeah, there it is. I suppose you still kind of see it, unless if you're really close up to that corner. So that was a good one. I do believe your Harmony Orb was already... Let me see what happened to the Harmony Orb all this time.
You cannot damage Mr. Widow. Don't die.
Oh, nice.
So, Widow, so I think it was... Alright, yeah, it was on Torb, and then... Yeah, you put it on Torb right now, blah blah blah, then you go forward, and then you go for this...
Just going around to the right.
Yeah, and then right here, it just barely disconnects as you go for this. Yeah, okay. So, it's okay. Right after this, right click though, try to, you know, obviously... Right after this pick, try to get that re-orb again. On anything, really. Even the Rodok here is fine.
Yeah, she's up there right now.
Another thing, you see that the Widow is critical, so you know, just by knowing what type of heroes your enemy is running, you know that that's most likely the Tracer over there on your right, and that she's going to be very likely to follow up on you. And this is another camera management thing, right? So as you're charging up these right clicks, you need to be looking to the right just to make sure that that Tracer isn't getting too close. Because if she is, she's just gonna keep walking and not expand any blinks because she gets to walk freely, and that's not what you want. Even if you get only one left clicks into her nearby her, that's gonna be value. Then getting that Widow, that's beautiful, dude. Unfortunately, you you only now notice the Tracer.
Run. Nice. Let's go Tracer.
I'ma get a drink. Hold up.
One.
Hold up.
We're all dead. We like stuck up.
Okay, so the next point would be 12. You could weave in. Yeah. Just try to weave in those harmonies a little bit more when they get loose, get lost by somebody. Barely miss your timing though there, so that's you know, it would have been fine if you line of sighted that top a little bit sooner, but okay. We're gonna optimize it all the way, all the plays optimized. Camera management over there, that's fine.
I can take the pulse if she's gonna throw it from behind.
She's one.
Can I get armor, please?
Where are you?
There.
Can I have cookie, please? Cookie.
I like how you
I'm
are
gonna
careful
walk
here
there,
as well still.
There, sure.
But again, maybe be a little bit more
Nice,
backwards.
but
Now, as long as you think that Trace is gonna come
Yeah,
for you on the right,
Put it here.
Some of them.
just so you have that little bit of extra
Guys,
space to
massive
work with.
We need to break the shield.
So, yeah, right now they do have a Zarya, so I really like that you're just
Zen in the back.
keeping your trance. Well, there's not really been a huge moment where you could have tranced or where it seemed like you could have tranced, but yeah, just
Size half.
keeping it for that.
We got pulse bomb probably.
Shadow.
I'm not sure if you did it completely on purpose, but yeah, you made it work out well, so
Tracer
perfectly
recall.
good. Okay, so over here, great ulting, and also the movement after you being pulse bombed, that was really nice, making sure nobody else got hit by that.
Kill them.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about that. That was a good right click, trying to get them,
Oh
and then
my
the
God.
tank just
Run,
gets
run,
on top
run,
of you.
run,
So that
run.
was more of a problem that the Orisa just kind of let their Reinhardt through. Yeah, I don't mind that too much. And then afterwards here,
Runs low.
let's see.
Help Orisa, guys. Help Orisa.
So,
They are all low there.
Fuck him up. Nice.
I'm sorry.
How long for the core?
Oh god.
okay, so let's see.
This is-
Kill that then.
Cucumber
Yeah,
Nice.
come back now. Come.
Yeah, come back.
Yeah, your both your DPS have changed, or going to change. Your Torb is gonna change to a Genji
Yeah,
right now. Yeah, so quicker heroes to make it back to the point. For a short moment here, it's not really crucial, but you throw the harmony on the Roadhog, and if you try to have looked for the harmony on the Tracer here, just you know, to be proactive with that on any squishies, maybe you could have saved the Tracer here, but because she was that far away, and I do believe she dies
Tracer right side.
pretty quickly. Yeah, it's just a headshot though, so I'm not even sure how much it would have mattered,
Yeah,
but
this,
it's just the orb on the Roadhog isn't gonna do much, right? So
Let's go
just a
Tracer.
small thing again.
No way. What?
Quick on the Mercy orbing there. That's good.
Yeah, lucky.
And then your entire team died. So then I don't mind that you go for
Alright, just regroup, dude.
yeah. Yeah. There wasn't a lot you could have done more there.
Yeah, this McCree, like. This thing is legit.
enemy tracer
Legit.
bottom left. Enemy tracer bottom left on the small health pack.
Thank you.
Let's go Ryan.
Okay, so it's alright.
Nice
I
right
want
side,
you.
right side.
Well,
You freaking abandoned me.
it's just there. I feel like here, after you notice the Tracer, you go a little bit too heavily for her, or you put too much effort into getting her for too long. She uses the recall. I still think it's fine you shooting her from here as long as she's in your range. Now that she kind of recalls out,
Tracer one.
I wouldn't go any further to chase her here. I just don't like being in this middle area, just because if you get jumped by anything, they're just gonna get you. Even if you have teammates on the point, it's really difficult for your teammates to come help you in time, because of this wall in between you and
No
them.
recall. Tracer no recall.
We get the McCree.
Especially if you have a lot of
Short
slow
tracer?
tanks like a Roadhog. Well, Winston could help you potentially, but not that much.
Let's go, let's fucking go.
So yeah, just kind of disrespecting your enemy over here a little bit, right? Where you try to get that tracer and then forget about their Zen, their Zarya a little bit, right? That's kind of what it feels like. Maybe if you stayed around this place, it would have been better. But then you leave this line of sight as well.
Oh my.
So yeah, just try to make sure that you stay a little bit closer to either that side or the other side, or in between there
Score Tracer.
as you're shooting. And also you could
The McCree.
after you got through there, immediately, you know, this is another place you can kind of look up. It's not the safest one because it is so easy for like Tracer to just get over here and then block you from getting back to spawn, which is kind of what happens here anyway. But yeah, it's really good, right? You want to be able to run back to spawn whenever you get to.
Let's go, let's fucking go.
So if you put yourself in that position,
Nice,
it's
push
just
it.
Nice. Go
great.
use it.
You're gonna die a whole
Run,
lot
run,
less.
Run.
Mm,
Oh fuck.
Maybe you're not gonna kill everything that tries to chase you in there, but you're gonna pull them away from the battle and effectively negating anything they do.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, now let's so you didn't have ult there yet. Well, yeah, that's kind of the thing, right? If you would have been able to get like what is it, 8 more charge if you weren't being targeted by 3 people here. If you had kept yourself from being targeted by 3 people here, you would have gotten this ult charge, and then this fight would have gotten a lot easier, especially if you had managed to keep that
Go use it.
for this graph right here. Then you most likely save these 2 tanks. And then your Widow doesn't have to save you by
Plenty of trance.
popping off like a madman.
Oh nice.
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 Your math.
Okay, how far are we in? This is a long one, chest pops. I don't know. Maybe you're getting sick of this.
Yeah, we'll
We're
switch.
just gonna keep going until you feel like you got stuff to work on.
They still have McCree.
Use grab.
Okay.
Bomb.
Tracer's gonna be on the right.
They haven't.
I like your position here, by the way. Staying back, it's a decent distance. You're on the high ground, so you can just shoot in there. The Rhine might have the. I do believe you call it out as well. Yeah, the Rhine has shatter, so
Right.
this is a good distance for you to go into there. You can line of sight it real quick when it
Cool,
happens, and then go in with the trance for your team. Putting the orb there on the Genji, that's nice. Then
Mercy on point. Need help.
you cross over. I'm not sure if that was really necessary. Just because there's a McCree up here. So I feel like you would have been safer to just kind of keep using this line of sight, but
Use the right side. Mercy on.
or at least like block as much as you can. There is a Winston bubble there, so I suppose maybe you notice that.
Leave out of me.
Let's go Tracer. Nice dude. They're top left.
I have McCree almost.
This position is it's just
I have McCree
well,
almost.
yeah. Actually, I kind of like this position. Now you back up even more, so this really is a good position. Just a little bit, and you line of sight them on the right, and then it's like 2 meters, and you're in spawn,
Let's go Mercy.
and you're invulnerable.
Mercy
What the
right.
fuck is he doing?
Now you do have your trance, so maybe you're trying to move in a little bit quicker, or closer to them. All right, so let me think about this. Very nice jumping when team does so. Yeah, that was nice. I liked you jumping down here. By the way, when your team jumps down and you jump down, that is nice. So let me think about this. They still got the. Well, it's really only the Rhine Shatter, right? That's worrisome as an ult. That being said, you still rather use your ults at the moment than
Mercy on point.
dying. I feel like.
Point.
Well, maybe maybe I'm thinking about a different battle right now. Did your Mercy have ult? Oh, he does have ult. Okay, so then it's no big
Point.
deal.
Need help?
Point, point.
D bottom.
Then it's okay. That's fine.
Nice, dude. The top left.
I will clear.
I don't mind you getting that close and not.
Let's go Mercy.
Oh,
Actually, it was over there, right? Yeah, yeah. So you do die.
I'm contesting. You
They
just
used
stop.
Valk,
Against you guys.
but your team is still so confident that they'll win it. So yeah, they don't use any ultimates either. Then your Mercy dies though.
Nice.
but
Still have.
luckily your D.Va's carrying her.
No recall.
Yeah, she's big health.
McCree mid.
Let's go McCree. He's 1. Only more.
That
Okay. So yeah, that on the
That's-
on the
they're
They're
Winston.
coming right, they're coming right,
Yeah,
they're
that
coming
was
right.
interesting.
On the right side. So, as they're coming on the right side, I would like you to meet that movement. And also be on the right side of this wall you're using on your right now. Just so you have a less of a distance to move towards your enemies if you do want to use that Transcendence. And also, you can get those right clicks in deeper into their back line. So, you know, your right clicks are gonna move past more people, and as a projectile, it's just more likely that somebody's gonna walk into it.
Let's go Ryan. They've got Shatter. They've got Shatter.
So waiting for that shadow right here. You being on the left, I think you definitely move out of that
Let's go Ryan.
for that D.Va ult, right? Towards the right.
They've got Shatter.
But I feel like you would have been fine if you moved back up towards the back of the truck over there
They've got Shatter.
in that situation, but
I'm so dead.
maybe not. Who knows? Small thing. I think it was a shorter distance, but I'm not sure.
rest me if you can.
It's gonna kill me.
Ryan, one.
So also, well, your Mercy had Valk. Let me see. Your Mercy though did use one res right here.
So dead.
I wouldn't have minded if you had just used your ult there, just to stay alive.
They've got Shatter. They've got Shatter.
Even if they still had Shatter, right? They're using D.Va Bomb. Your Mercy just used res. They just used Valk, so you're not gonna get punished that hard that way, because they don't have that many extra support ultimates either. Your Mercy does still have Valk though, but do you want her to waste that on you, right?
So dead.
So I feel like, yeah, that could have been a good point to use it.
Trace along, no recall.
Rest me if you can.
It's gonna kill me.
And now you have to waste it anyway, unfortunately. Also, it was a good moment to use it, obviously, because well, the fight was still 6v6, so it was a very even fight. If you die, it's gonna be a 5v6, and yeah, that's just gonna give them more opportunity.
I get destroyed.
Going for this contest, yeah, I don't see anything bad with this contest. Let me see. Can't really save those guys with the ult anyway. The Widow is too far to really use the Transcendence on while contesting at the same time, so
Oh,
that's
D.Va,
fine. Winston getting pulse bomb there. That's unfortunate. Then, I don't know why you're going forward here after your ult ended.
The Tracer.
As you can see, your line of sight, like, you look up a really good line of sight for the Zen, and then you go forward into his line of fire. If you just stay here and just shoot anything that goes onto the point,
D.Va, mini
I
D.Va.
think you'll do a lot better. Because now you do clip it from this Zen a little bit as well, which puts you really low, and then the Tracer just gets an easy kill on you. Otherwise, if you still had been at that corner, you could have line of sighted the other two really quickly and then had a 1v1, you know, an actual 1v1 against the Tracer. Instead, they all the three of them got a little bit of poke damage on you, and then you just died instantly because all three of them got to shoot you.
Oh my god.
No, Ryan.
This ult.
D.Va
Let's
though.
go D.Va.
Okay, we're 39 minutes in. God damn, this is a review deluxe, chest pops. Round 2 complete. How much else do we have? We're on 18 I think, yeah, I'm gonna call it here. Chess Pops. It's a long one. So I'm gonna give you some general advice to be working on. After your ult, try to find those locations where it's most safe for you to jump or to run towards. Try to be a little bit more backwards when your enemy allows you to, because your orbs, they stay onto like a 40-meter range. So you know the optimal play range for Zen really is like about 35 meters from the fighting, really. Somewhere around that range is perfectly fine. Yeah, camera management, of course. While you're charging up those right clicks, make sure to just look around, check what's behind you, check anywhere really where you feel like enemies can come for you. And that's just gonna help you suddenly get like surprise picks for like a flanker you didn't even really knew that was gonna come. Maybe you had like a force sense, but you know, because it happens so much, those flankers. But anyway, yeah, sometimes you're just gonna shut them down. You're gonna make it really difficult for them to get a play, or like a tracer to get a pulse bomb. You're gonna be able to call them out as well, and make your team play better because of that. Yeah, I think that's about it. I hope you learned something again, Chess Pops, and have a good one. Anybody else? I hope you learned something as well. And if you liked it, give a sub, maybe a follow on the Twitcheroni. If you also want a VOD reviewed, make sure to join the Discord server for the Really Kozan Discord down below in the description. And yeah, the rules are down there. You can look it up. And then yeah, well, that's about it. Have a good one, guys. See you next time. Bye bye.